channel. That's theblackfinancialchannel.com. And I want to say that I'm super excited to bring this conversation to you all because these are two gentlemen that I respect immensely, two brothers that have done great work, mostly out of the city of Detroit, but really their work is known nationwide, worldwide, as it should be. One of the men that I'm bringing in for you guys today is Mr. Herb Strather. And Herb Strather is the chairman of the Strather Academy, and also Mr. Gary Shelton, who is the vice chairman of Strather Academy. And I'd like to welcome both of you guys. How you doing today, brothers?
Thank you, boys.
Man,
it's good to be here.
It's such a
good to
pleasure,
connect,
boys, to be able to tell our story from your platform. And that's one of the problems that we suffer from. Everyone tells our story from their platform, telling it the way they want to tell it. And it's usually not positive for us. So thank you for providing us with this opportunity.
Yes,
well, you know, it's a no-brainer, and I'm honored to have an opportunity to talk to both of you. You know, because you know, it's a strange world we live in. It seems like a lot of our folks they hear from all the wrong people, and they don't get to hear from the right people. And I want everybody to know I'm going to go ahead and just brag on your behalf a little bit, and y'all can feel free to add any details I'm missing because your legacy is vast, both of you. But I mentioned to everybody in the title, type the word billion in the chat. Everybody, Anita, Tony, Shad, Manuel, Rishon, type the word billion in the chat. Type the word billion. Y'all hearing about billionaires, you know, in the black community, billionaires that got rich from hip hop or selling liquor, whatever it is that people do, whatever people do. I'm not judging. But these gentlemen have made billions of dollars in a variety of business deals that don't always check off the basketball hip hop box. They don't check off those boxes. They check off boxes that people don't talk about. This reminds me a little bit of maybe like say A.G. Gaston in terms of what he did and how a lot of folks don't know about his accomplishments. And from what I understand, and Herb, I'll start with you. You told me, you actually corrected me a little while ago and told me that you made $1 billion in one transaction. Is that accurate?
Well, let me correct that. I said I closed $1 billion. I created the Motor City Casino in Detroit. I created the casino industry, and the deal was $1 billion. Now, when we sold it off, we made $160 million, but the transaction was $1 billion.
So I stand corrected. I said that wrong. And really though, if the transaction's $1 billion, in my view, that means somebody made $1 billion, right? $1 billion, so exchange hands, and that's actually what I meant, but I didn't say it accurately. So you're correcting me on that. Thank you. And right. and so tell me about that. Let's just start there. Just in terms of the mindset. Now, I remember we talked about both of you a lot. You know, my wife and I, my brother and I, because first thing we noticed, and I met you first, Herb, and I'll get to you in a second, also, Mr. Shelton. But we noticed instantly that you think different. You know, like to use a simple minded term, I might say you're not your average Negro. You're not just a guy that just thinking on level one. You operate on level 10 in terms of energy, in terms of strategy. In terms of enthusiasm toward achieving your goals, focus, intentionality. Can you speak to that? And I imagine that is what it takes in order to do deals at that level. Can you talk about that?
Yes. You know, boys, I was very, very lucky because I was born poor. I had bumps all over my face. I stuttered. I didn't have any confidence. I had a C- average. And when I was little, I got put outside. I got put outdoors. We were physically put outdoors. And you know, when you get put outdoors, all your neighbors looking, and you develop this, you develop this mentality that, you know, you want to be wealthy, that just will never happen to you. So probably the best thing ever happened to me was the challenges that I had as a kid. Look at this. So I got put out poor. I went to my pastor and I said, I want to be rich. I can't have this. It was 12 years old I was. I argued with him that I had to be rich. He argued I couldn't. It's the hardest for the camel to get through an eye of a needle. I said, I'm quitting. I told my mother, I'm quitting the church. I'm going to go to a church that said I can be rich. You know what? My pastor relented. And he said, I got to use the money to do good and to do this. And that was good. So I mean, I started shoveling snow. I was selling newspapers. I was doing everything because I had a burning desire. But look at this. Because I couldn't speak, I had speech therapy. I stuttered so bad I could not attend regular class. So they put me in speech therapy. And in speech therapy, they made me take the oratorical contest, the different ones. And lucky for me, I took the optimist oratorical contest, and that's when I became an optimist. I entered 3 or 4 years, and then I passed. I won. I beat out 2,000 people. I was five
Wow.
people at the top five. Now, I didn't win the number one spot. I won the number two spot, but I won the scholarship because I came back and became class president. Now, with
Wow.
class president, I wanted to be president of everything. Now, let's kind of go forward. So, with a burning desire at 19 years old, man, I became the number one agent in the city of Detroit. And the good message that I'm trying to tell everybody is your greatest asset is your desire. Your burning desire. If you're motivated by something, you will do it. If one of the topics we're going to have, boys, is that if you only had 60 days to live to make $500,000, how would you do it? So really what happens here, because I'm an optimist, I've built 150 optimist clubs because I had to pay them back for what they did for me. One night in February, February the 28th, there was a fair that one of the schools had here in Detroit, Martin Luther King, and there was a lot of little kids. And I became very emotional because Canada was building a casino. Canada was building a casino that they would not allow any Americans to work at. And there was another casino going to be a Greek town, an Indian casino, and they would hire Indians first. So I said to myself that night, if I don't do something, the lives of that little girl on this stage is going to be changed. So I went in and I grabbed the petition that they had and I typed it up myself and I started getting signatures. Well, 2 or 3 days later, I found out that I didn't have the right font, so I had to get it retyped. But look at this. I had to have till March the 15th to get 7,500 signatures. So I started getting signatures. I was getting them. So I had like 6 or 7 days left and I counted my signatures. I had 2,500. Boys, I think I started crying, man. I said, I'm not going to make it. I said, somebody said, well, man, why don't you get somebody to help you? Good idea. I read and I went to the unemployment. They didn't even want to talk to me. They said they'll kill me if I didn't get out of there. So I went out and the guy read, I said, hey man, I'll do it, but don't go in there talking that, they won't pay us. So I went downtown and I'm about to wrap this up because here's how the story ended. This is a beautiful story. A homeless guy came and said, can I help? And I said, okay. I had him get signatures and he was 100 feet from me. He made $60. The next day, he brought 2 homeless guys. It was 3 of us then. The next day, they brought 12 homeless guys. And we took those homeless people and I put them across the city. Boys.
Wow.
On the 15th, when I took the signatures downtown, I had 17,500 signatures. And the rest is history. Now, the people who invested 25 grand with me right then, their payday was $550,000 back. So what's the moral of this story? You got it. You got it inside of you, and you've got to come out. It's a burning desire. And this is what we want to do. We want to bring out the burning desire out of people. If we got to talk about how we're being leveraged like we are, there's no city in America where Black people are leveraged like they are in Detroit. But there are cities, most urban areas are Black, and Blacks are leveraged. So what I want to show everybody is how to get wealthy without money, because I didn't have one penny. We teach people how to leverage real estate without putting up money. And the reason is that we don't have any money. Hell, if I had the money, I would have never been leveraging real estate without money. So that's our story. We're going to show our people how to get rich. And I don't want any excuses.
No excuses. So everybody in the chat, just to let us know that you're paying attention. By the way, I'm speaking with Herb Strather and Gary Shelton. Herb and Gary are the chairman and vice chairman, respectively, of the is it the Strather Academy or the Herb Strather Academy? Make sure I
The
say it right.
Strather Academy.
Strather Academy. And I want everybody in the chat, just to show you're paying attention, type the words "no excuses." Everybody, we're gonna go on the no excuses agenda. I don't know about y'all, but I'm listening to Herb and I was getting fired up over here. And I just think that this is a message that millions of us need to hear. So everybody type "no excuses" in the chat if you are following this message. You get what these brothers are saying. Also, July 29th through the 31st, they are holding the Black Wealth Builder Summit in Detroit. I put the link for a discount for all of you that are in this in our clique in the B1 community. I put a link. If you go to boycewatkins.com, the link is right there. It's right below. It's the second link on the page. Click the link. You get a 25% discount. And it's right below the link for the boot camp class that starts tonight on how to generate income from stock options. So you got a lot of different options here. I'm going to be in Detroit. Dr. Ken Harris, Herb and Gary, as well as some other special guests. And we'll talk more about that later. So I'd like to get to Mr. Shelton. Mr. Shelton, I remember, and I hope you don't mind me mentioning, when you and I sat down, one of the things that I thought was really interesting was you just casually mentioned some people that you've advised. And I remember I kind of laughed. I remember I could have swore I heard the word Oprah. I could have swore I heard the word Warren Buffett. So you got to let us know. Tell us more about that in terms of just that legacy that you've built in terms of supporting people and really guiding people economically, and what your superpower is.
Well, let me tell you in this way, as I'm hearing my partner and dear friend Herbert Strather talk about closing $1 billion deal, I'm realizing, wow, I'm in a really special place, because I also was with Reginald Lewis when he bought Beatrice for $1 billion. So I sit here as a black man that's been with two black men that did $1 billion deal. I might be the only black man that can say that. So that's pretty cool. Now, Herb's story, there's one other aspect to it. He persevered. His deal didn't go according to plan, which no one that I know of succeeds according to plan. I've never seen it happen. I don't think it does happen. You succeed according to adjustment to plan. You're going to make mistakes. Just don't make the same mistake twice. Make your adjustment. And the critical piece is you don't quit. You persevere. That's what it's all about. I was fortunate to be mentored by Reginald Lewis. I was fortunate to be a pension fund advisor at a young age. And so the same analysis that I would do for a pension fund to determine should they buy a stock or not is basically the same analysis that you must do for someone like Reginald Lewis that's deciding, well, what company should he buy? And so that was a great experience to have. I've advised many people on credit issues, many people, I don't want to drop names, but many names that are celebrities. But for my community, I would just say this, Dr. Watkins, we got to get with the program, man. This is a capitalist society that we are living in. And it's like we're trying to play the capitalism game without capital. Now, I understand we come from intergenerational poverty for a lot of reasons for that. I get that. But there's a solution for that. There's a solution for knowing how to use other people's money. The bank's money, which the bank has an infinite amount of money because it's all digital. But how do you get access to that money? Well, you have to have the right clothes on. And what I mean by have the right clothes on, I'm not talking about clothes literally. I'm talking about you have to, your business has to look the part. It's like speaking their language. And you must realize, Dr. Watkins, that because of the internet, we're in the age of lenders concerned with fraud. Are you really who you say you are? Do you really have a business? Can I find it? Do you have a website? What's your phone number? Is it listed?
Wow.
These things are very important. We have a tendency to only think about credit, but that's not enough. You what does your balance sheet look like? These are things that are important. When we teach our students, look, even though we can teach you how to structure a deal where you may not have to bring money to closing, but you need to show some money. You need you must learn how to play this game. There are rules to the game that we are playing, and you must learn to play this game by the rules that exist for playing this game. And that's why we want to do this summit, man. We want to teach our people how to win. It's very frustrating, growing up in Southwest Detroit, which Herb and I both did, just in two different sides of Southwest Detroit. Me, I was right near this city called Dearborn, where Henry Ford had his headquarters. When I was growing up, Dearborn was all white. No black people lived there. Now it's almost all Arab. Few black people live there. But here's the point. These Arabs have supermarkets every other block. They own and control Dearborn now. The mayor's Arab, they own and control it. And Herb, how long have they been there compared to how long we've been in Detroit? We've been in Detroit for forever. And not one black-owned supermarket.
They also control Detroit now. Listen, we're the most leveraged city in America. We own maybe 2 supermarkets, and everything else is owned by the Arabs. We own 2 gas stations that I'm aware of, 2. The rest of them are basically all Arab. They live in mansions. And do you know how they talk about us? Wouldn't you like to be a fly on the wall when they're talking about those dumb? You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, I do.
I have absolutely heard them. And I've entered the games and said, man, you guys fight, you guys. I mean, they'd like to tell us you all are a bunch of stupid people. We live off y'all. We leverage y'all. And you all steal from each other. You fight. You don't have any sense. You got a $1 trillion economy, and you give it all away, you fools. You buy the highest liquor. You instead of buying a house and putting the down payment, you go buy a $2,500 purse. Now, here's what we do, boys. What Gary said, we don't have any cash. A lot of people don't have cash. So when somebody joins us, we're going to assume you don't have any real money. So you know what we do to our students? We'll loan them $50,000 up front when you join, $2,500 to $50,000. And here's what, because if you borrow too much, it could hurt you, depending on how you structure it. But you put that money into the credit union because you cannot do it with a bank because a bank will not do it. But a credit union is empowered. You could put the money in a credit union, take a shareholder's loan, and borrow that money right back out. Now, what have you done? Now, if you borrowed the money out using your LLC, think about it. You got $50,000 in your name. In the CD is in your name. The loan is in your credit, is in your LLC's name. Okay, so that makes it a contingent liability on your part, but just look how your balance sheet look now. And then if you have an LLC that's involved in anything, we're going to take and value that. If you have an LLC, say you make $100,000 and you're a 1099. Well, hell, you can take a $40,000 salary, take $60,000 in profit. What is $60,000 profit worth? At 20% is worth $300,000. So the example I've just given you, if you have no money whatsoever and you make $100,000, we would sit down with you, we would structure your deal, we would create an LLC, and we would take and loan you the 50, let the LLC borrow it. So when the smoke clears, you got a net worth. You got $300,000 value under your LLC with a $50,000 liability. You got $250,000, and you got $50,000 in the bank. Now, you may not be able to pull that 50 out, but it's sitting there, decoration. And Gary, when they got the 50 in the bank, tell them what you could do for them.
Well, yeah, I have several sources that would give you as a line of credit for buying real estate 10 times what you can show that you have in the bank. one source, another one 7 times what you can show you have in bank, and you don't have to risk the money. You don't have to pledge it as collateral. You don't have to move it. You only have to show it. So this is I like to say, look, it's about the number of zeros and commas behind the digit. I don't care what the first digit is. 1 to 9 don't matter to me. What I care about are zeros and commas after the digit. Because Dr. Watkins, it's about profit margin, man. What percentage are you applying that to? What kind of number? Let it be a big number. And guess what? It's a whole lot easier to borrow big money than it is to borrow little money.
A lot easier.
It's a whole lot easier. And
Wow.
if I'm going to owe somebody, I've done some work with Donald Trump. If I'm going to owe somebody, let me owe them hundreds of millions of dollars rather than thousands. Because when I owe hundreds of millions, first of all, I don't personally owe it. My business does. That's not me. My business is its own legal entity, has its own EIN number. And I'm going to be sitting down with the bank president, maybe vice president, talking about how we're going to work it out. And I'm going to be saying, well, what do you want me to do with the yacht I bought? I still make money with it. How about the plane? What do you want me to do? Some of this money I owe is going to be stuck in my pocket. Believe that. Now, owe $1,000 and watch how they harass you, call you, curse you out, anything.
Oh, well, everybody, I let me just jump in. As y'all notice, I've been very quiet. I'm smart enough to know my daddy taught me when to shut up and listen. So I am listening to these two brothers. And if you want to know who I'm listening to, it's Mr. Herb Strather, who is the chairman of the Strather Academy, and also Gary Shelton, who is the vice chairman of the Strather Academy. Everybody, if you could take 1 second, please hit the thumbs up, share, subscribe. Share this video. Y'all can't tell me you're hearing any conversation like this anywhere on the internet. These are the brilliant OGs that are out here doing amazing things, the people that can show you how to get out of these poverty traps. And also, I want to remind everybody that July 29th through the 31st, these gentlemen are holding a very important event in Detroit. I'm going to let them tell us all about that in 1 second. And it is the Black Wealth Builders Summit. I'm going to be there. Dr. Anderson, I believe, is on board. Dr. Claude Anderson, is that correct? Is he? Yeah. Okay. And Dr. Ken Harrison. And then y'all can feel free to name some other names. But if you like what you're hearing here, imagine spending the weekend with these gentlemen. And that's what's going to happen in Detroit. And I am going to, my flight's going to be booked this week. And so if you want to get a pass, you want to get a ticket, you can get a discount. Just go to my website, boycewatkins.com. I put a link to the Black Wealth Builders Summit in Detroit. Just look for that link. It's the second link on the page. Get your ticket now because they will sell out. The tickets are already going. They're already selling. You can see why. And so I want you guys to sign up and come out there, fly out there, no matter where you are in the world. It's worth it. So I'll start, I guess, back with you, Herb. Tell us about the Black Wealth Builders Summit. Who's coming? What can people expect? Just lay it all out there for us. And then you
thank you. This is a dream come true for me because I want to take all of my experiences in life and I want to get everybody in a room. Black people. It's a family meeting we're having here. And I've invested by my top students that have graduated. One of my students, a gentleman named Duran Saunders, he just sold his portfolio for $165 million. When he was one of my first students, he didn't have $100,000 then. He got $165 million. He's now the chairman of the Detroit Athletic Club. And they wouldn't even let us in the club 20 years ago. We couldn't even go. Now look at this. Many of my private bankers are coming. And guess what? It's really cool when your private banker become the president of the bank. Now, so we got, for example, Mike Bickers. Mike is the president of PNC Bank. The regional president, that's where you live at, Boyce. That's Illinois, Michigan, Philadelphia. We have Larice McClendon. She is the president of Huntington Bank, Detroit. We have movers and shakers, and we're going to sit there and we're going to talk to our people. We're going to close the door, and we'll show you how to get rich. We're going to loan you the money. We're going to make this happen. And
Wow.
what we want you to do is bring a burning desire. I mean, it's not an expensive proposition. This is worth $50,000 a piece. And I'm sure it's not even $1,000. I don't know the numbers. It's hundreds of dollars.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We're going to be selling out pretty fast. But if you want to learn how to become wealthy so that you can take care of your family, your future forever, then you put down the knitting, the mop, and the broom, and you make your way to this no matter how you got to get here. This is a once-in-a-lifetime deal. And we're going to put it together, and we're going to give you all what you need. That's going to be Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Like one of the questions I mentioned, which I really, really love, and I tell you, is that if you had to make $500,000 or your life ends, how would you do it? You know, I have made, you know, when I did the casino, hell, in 2 weeks, you know, that day that I turned those petitions in, 2 people gave me $25,000 a piece. 2 people. I made 400 units out of it. I added up 25 times 400. I did it again. I thought it was $1 million. It was 10 million. I said, is that right? That's pretty cool. You can do it. And let me tell you something. That's not the first time I've done it. And we just may hit the streets in Detroit and do something in Detroit. Just come here and have your mind open and bring a burning desire.
Yes, indeed. Let me
Wow.
witness. Let me witness. You know, when I met Herb, he didn't have any money. So I've seen him go from no money to who he is today. When I met him, he was a grown man, but he was renting a room in another man's house. That's when I met him. I'm witnessing, and I'm saying, if you know what I know, you won't let yourself have any excuses why you don't attend this event. If you know what I know, our passion today, both of us are 71 years old, separated by 1 month.
No, Gary, you're the oldest. You're the oldest now.
Well, 1 month. Our passion.
Now, what month were you born in?
I'm January.
Okay.
I'm February, but Gary, I tell you should be telling everybody how old we are. There be some nice young ladies looking, man.
Okay, all right.
Hey,
our passion is not so much personal gain. I mean, we've both experienced that. But we're both black on the skin black team, and our team just keeps losing. We want some victories.
Yes.
It's lonely at the top. We need some company. We want you to come join us. Don't give yourself any out. Please don't. It can happen for you. It happened for us. It can happen for you too, especially with us holding your hand. We will teach you everything we know.
Well, you know what?
And one of the things that's really cool is this, boys. In order to graduate from our academy, you have to close a deal without putting up cash. Now, you could put it up as an earnest money deposit. You could show it, but there's no way. If you're going to go out and put 25% down and pay your closing costs on a deal, hell, you don't need me. But I don't know how to do that. I only know how to buy without cash. I can't even train anybody to do it with cash. I can, but I'm just going to end up where I always end up at. We're going to do the deal without cash. In order to graduate from Strather Academy, you have to close the deal without cash. Now, how do we do it without cash? We do bargain gift sales under 1031s. We use NACA. We use PACE. I mean, we use 1031s. We use joint ventures. And joint ventures are just really, really sweet. You know what? You got somebody on an apartment building they want to sell? Join their LLC and refinance and take them out. You didn't put up a penny, did you?
See,
you know what a bargain gift sale is? An Internal Revenue Code? I'm already teaching. Listen, I'm ready
to help himself. He's going to teach.
I tell everybody, teach. I'm ready to teach and close you how to do a deal right now. Now, this week, we have tomorrow we got 3 closings. One of my students, 3 closings. You know, Paul Reiser, his dad was with Motown. And, you know, I'm so proud of Paul. I sent him a memo this morning. Paul, you are bad. You know, you can figure the rest of the words out. But, you know, for a coach to have his students come rise and closing 3 deals in one day, I said, Paul, you're like me. I mean, this is almost about to cry, but I Look, I've had everything in life I really wanted. I mean, honestly. But what I want now is the liberation of my people. I want us to be financially, I mean, this is the most embarrassing thing for us to be financially strapped. We want to be financially free. For one man to own downtown, isn't that embarrassing? For one man in a black city to own the majority of the city and nobody said anything?
One white man.
One white man.
Now you talking about Dan Gilbert, correct?
Yes. Dan Gilbert, listen, look, we're talking about Dan Gilbert, yes. Now, if he want to take and buy this here, buy it with his own money, but to use public money, but the point, my issue, I mean, listen, he's hooked up. The mayor and him are relatives, so we got a situation here where there's probably $1 billion worth of construction going on here. We do not have 50 million. We don't have 50 million out of $1 billion. And we have 75% of the population. I'm tired of it. I'm not putting up with this anymore.
Well, let's do something.
We're having a summit in Detroit.
Let's do something about it, y'all.
Well, I want everybody to know. Some of y'all may remember Dan Gilbert, but if y'all remember when LeBron went to Miami and he wrote that angry letter like it almost sounded like a slave master who was mad that his Negro ran away. And then LeBron came right back and he must have forgave him, but it was a lot of, I know a lot of folks were insulted by that, and but at the same time, you can't get mad when somebody acts like a slave master when you let them own everything about you.
Right.
When you let them take everything that's supposed to be yours, then why wouldn't they behave as if they are the boss? And I agree with you. I think that in Detroit, our people should be and will be the bosses of Detroit. And I want everybody to hear what Mr. Strather and Mr. Shelton are saying, because what they're saying is that we needed to have at least one obsession in the next 100 years in our people. The number one obsession should not be basketball. It should not be football. It should not be hip hop. It needs to be acquisition of resources.
Yes.
So everybody, in fact, let's focus on the word resources. Dr. Claude Anderson writes about resources. Everybody type the word resources in the chat. Resources. That means you're acquiring the gas stations. You're acquiring the real estate. You're acquiring the businesses. You're acquiring all the property, everything of value in the space in which you operate. You acquire that, and these guys can show you how to do that. So the word resources, that's our word for today. And I'm going to let everybody know about the summit real quick. I'm going to give you the information so you can go to the summit at the end of the month. And then I'm going to let these two gentlemen get the last words for this amazing interview. The summit, the Black Wealth Builder Summit, is occurring in Detroit, July 29th through the 31st. You can go to boycewatkins.com and get a 25% discount on your ticket right now. Just go to my website. It's the second link right below the boot camp that starts tonight, the Options Masterclass. Click on that. I will be there. Dr. Anderson will be there. These two gentlemen will be there. Their connections will be there. These guys are connected to bank presidents. So Doctor, y'all have to forgive me for talking so long on it. I'm a little long-winded because I need to make it clear to everybody. There's a difference between the people you see doing a lot of yapping on the internet versus these guys who have made their money, in a relatively quiet way. But after they've made all this money, they're coming back and telling you how they did it, right? So this is a whole different kind of instructor, a whole different kind of experience, and I vouch for this wholeheartedly because these two gentlemen, they proved themselves to me, and I want to reiterate that. So I'll let you two get the last word. I guess first you, Mr. Strather, and then you, Mr. Shelton.
Well, boys, I would like to if this is possible, if we have 1 minute left, I would love for you to bring Robin on, our director, and just let her tell you how much money she put down on the apartment building she just bought. And if anybody want to look it up, it's at 15142 Retirement in Detroit. 15142 Retirement. It's a gorgeous 8-unit directly across the street from Dearborn, and it's worth $300,000. Now, Robin, are you on, dear?
Robin, can you hear us?
Uh-oh.
Okay, looks like she can't hear us. So
okay.
Robin, I'm gonna pull you off the screen, but just type a little note in the chat. Let us know if you want to come in or if you're available, because I'd love to hear that story. So let me pull that back.
Jerry, you go ahead.
And let me say this. When you come to the event, you're going to learn. But that will do you no good if you don't take action. The most important thing is to move, do something. Don't worry about if it's going to be a mistake. Just move. There's Robin.
Hey, Robin.
Hey,
Hello,
Robert.
everyone. How are you?
Doing well, doing well. I'm hearing a little bit of an echo on your end. Do you mind turning down the volume on the other side? That way we
Yes.
can hear
Is
you.
that better?
Yes, that's better.
Robin,
Fantastic.
Robin, I hope everybody will just look up 15142 Tireman and they can see how gorgeous the building is. But now I want to tell y'all something. Robin is in a scooter. Robin cannot climb the stairs. So she never looked at the building upstairs. I went up and looked at it for her. We went up and looked at it. But Robin bought the building. Robin bought the building for 200 for was it 180 grand, Robin? And how much money did you put down?
Yes, Mrs. Strather, it was 280 grand. And I'll say I put down less than the cost of dinner for one at your local eatery.
So how much did you put down exactly?
Well, Mrs. Strather, I put me on the spot. I really didn't want to say, but I was hoping they could deduce what that would be based on
Come on,
what I
Robin, we're running
shared.
out of
Is
time.
that okay?
Well, how about this? Is dinner for one? Is that an expensive dinner for one, or is it like a Applebee's dinner for one?
Applebee's local eatery.
It was way less than $100. And she bought a building for $3. The building is valued at $340,000. She bought it for $280, and once we did our adjustments and made our deal, she put $24.52 down.
That's it. That's exactly it. To the letter.
And y'all can do the same thing out there, y'all listening to me. And the closing before her, the young lady before her husband is the public relation director for the city of Detroit. She bought a building and she put nothing down. She took out $25,625 and she bought a building at 20454 Shiawassee, 1,000 square feet, an 8-unit building, and she took 25 grand out and didn't put a penny in.
Wow.
That's what I'm
She had been trying to buy a building for 25 years.
And that's what her husband said. I was in church. I was a speaker that day, and he went by and he said, "Man, I want to thank you. She's been trying to do this for 25 years." I said,
"Wow,
thanks, man."
Wow. Well, Robin, let me apologize for having to. I had to mute your mic, Robin, because the echo was so strong. But I'm gonna unmute because I'd love to hear your response to this. I mean, this is a pretty powerful testimony that's being heard right here. What goes through your mind when we talk about that? What feeling do you have? You're owning a building now. I mean, that's pretty remarkable. Most people never even own a house, let alone a building. How does that feel for you?
Oh my gosh, Dr. Boyce, it is totally incredible. In fact, for the first 4 weeks, Mrs. Strather can tell you, I would look at him and just arbitrarily bust out, "I can't believe I own an apartment building."
That's all she said.
It's incredible.
Wow. Well, you know what? I love that. I think that's enough. I don't know. Y'all give me a yes in the chat if you're impressed enough to at least consider coming out to Detroit and being a part of this event. Give me a yes in the chat if you're listening to this interview and you're thinking, I haven't heard anything like this anywhere else. And I mean, I'm excited about it, and I can't wait to be there. I can't wait to follow up and keep talking more about it. And I will tell everybody just publicly that meeting these two gentlemen and talking to them when I went to Detroit, and I also got a chance to talk to Ken Harris, a great guy. I was super excited because my wife and I said, okay, we have family in Detroit and didn't even know it, you know, and we just love you guys like family because we respect so much about what you're doing. And here's a big part, you know, you're not scared to be black. You came in guns blazing. You laid down the gauntlet, both of you. By letting us know what our job is as a community. Our job is to go out there and get our territory back, get our land back, get our resources back, not in a violent way, but in a but to know that we are in the middle of economic warfare.
Yes.
And in order to be a good economic soldier, you gotta know your assignment. You gotta be skilled. You can't be scared, and you gotta go hard. So I want to remind everybody: if you want to come to the Black Wealth Builder Summit, I have tickets right there on at BoyceWatkins.com. You get a 25% discount because you're part of this tribe, and you can be part of my clique. I'll see you all there. I'll shake everybody's hand that's there. Also, I want to say thank you very much to Mr. Herb Strather, Mr. Gary Shelton, the chairman and vice chairman of the Strather Academy, and also Miss Robin. I don't know your last name, Robin. My mama's name is Robin, so I like you already. What's your last name, Robin?
It's McLullen.
Oh, Miss Robin McLullen. And so I'm gonna say thank you guys. It's been a
Thank
wonderful.
you. Thank you, boys.
Good work, boys. Keep
And
it
I'll
up.
see y'all on the 29th.
All right. See you then. All right, everybody. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you all soon. Take care. Bye-bye.